we don't have that confidence, do we? Because of our black and white Islam, the Islam of hell and heaven, we don't. The mosques are empty. We are given incentives. Come to the mosque. It is better than to pray at home. Come to the mosque. Sustenance is increased. Come to the mosque. It will be a heavenly steed carrying us over the sirat, over the pits of hell, and escort us within the folds of paradise. After all these incentives and bribery, Allah's mosque is still empty. When it comes to the pulpit of Hussein, leave your works, there is nothing there. Everybody abandons their works and comes and sits at the foot of the pulpit of Hussein ibn Ali. There is no incentive. It is just that love of Hussein that draws us to his pulpit, isn't it? Hussein, may Allah cause us to live and die for him, has acquired that rank of godliness, that he is reflecting godliness in its entirety. And Allah deliberately has placed Hussein there. Why? Because he knew that these people will ruin Islam totally. And therefore he has placed an untarnished version of Islam by the name of Hussein that embraces all of God's creatures and is as untarnished as Allah himself. Allah is the Lord of the white and the black, rich and the poor, Muslim and the non-Muslim, saints and sinners. Come to Hussein. You will find him being venerated by both Muslim and non-Muslim alike, rich and poor. Hussein knows no rank. Hussein knows no religion. A saint and a sinner equally come to Hussein and say, Hussein is ours. Look at the level at which he effaced himself in the love of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, that he acquires that godliness that prevails today. Our problem is that we are in search and yearning of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, aren't we? We all want to meet with our Lord, and that's the only end. But the great deception is that Arif wants to remain Arif and know Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. How is that possible? How is that possible? It is like a branch saying that I want to become a tree. We will say, by remaining a branch, you will not become a tree. Give yourself away to the tree and you will know what the tree is. How can a part conceive of the whole as a part? Does that make sense? A part of something, how can it become the whole, wanting to retain its status as a part? So long as a part wants to retain itself as a part, it can never become the whole. It can't, and it can never even understand the whole. It is only when the part gives itself away to the whole. So long as Arif does not cease to be Arif, he will never embrace Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. It is only when there is total effacement in the love of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu that we can become the fullness of reality. And the minds open up at that point and the hearts melt away at that point. So it is this love, this divine agency that impels us to put ourselves to death and evolve into the folds of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu and to embrace Him. Look at the beautiful stories that we have in the narration of Hussein ibn Ali that show us this. It's a night of Ashura, when Hussein says to his companions, as he finds them with their swords unsheathed and placed upon their necks, and when they respond to him and they say, "O Hussein, if you have any doubt about our commitment to you, command us and we shall behead ourselves." They don't care about this notion of suicide. It doesn't mean anything to them, this suicide and sacrifice. All they know is this Hussein. That's all they know. Otherwise somebody can object and say, well, this is suicide, you can't do that. They said, no, for you, we are beyond this. We will cut our heads off and throw them at your feet if you do not have faith in us. At that point, Hussein asks them, what shall you do when the battle breaks out tomorrow? And they respond, Muslim ibn Awsaja responds and replies in a similar fashion to which Zuhair ibn Qayn had said before him. He said, "O Hussein, tomorrow, by God, we shall fight your enemies with our swords. When our swords break, we shall engage them with our spears. When the spears break, we shall throw stones at them. When the stones finish, we shall engage them with our bare hands. When our arms are cut and our heads are cut from our bodies, if after that our bodies are rendered into 1,000 pieces, and if after that we are burned to ashes, and if after that our ashes are scattered in thin air, if after that Allah gives us life 1,000 times over, we will come running back to you." Look at the level of effacement in Hussein ibn Ali. The level to which they had destroyed themselves, that today they have become Hussein. When you say Zuhair Qayn, what do you see with him? You see Hussein ibn Ali. When you say Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi, where do you see him? You see him with Hussein ibn Ali. Any Sahabi of Hussein comes with Hussein, doesn't he? Because they effaced themselves. They burnt to ashes in the love of Hussein ibn Ali. And look at this great master himself. And look at the challenges that he is facing. 2 hadiths. When he went out for his final battle, 7th Imam's hadith, Allah reveals to him, "O Hussein, look towards the heavens." When he looks, he sees the heavens are full of angels. And they have weapons to destroy his enemies. "O Hussein, take aid of these angels, destroy your enemies, save your life, and you will still have the reward that I have destined for you at your martyrdom." 7th Imam says, a tear rolls down Hussein's eye, and he says, "Oh Allah, they have killed my Abbas." What a great test for Hussein, that he can't live beyond his Abbas, but for the sake of Allah, he has given his Abbas. And then the other narration, in which Zainab says that when he had lost his Asghar, I saw him ascending a hill in seclusion, and he was with his Lord. He raised his arms towards the heavens and engaged in a secret whispered prayer, in which he said, "Allahumma taraktul khalqa turran fi hawak." "O Lord, I have abandoned the creation in your love. I have chosen the fate of making my children orphans so that I may see you. O Lord, if the swords were to cut me into pieces, even then my heart shall not yearn anyone but you." That is the level of effacement to which people need to arrive. And that is why we say that the Mawaddah of Ahlul Bayt is the greatest gift that we have. It becomes easier to dissolve in Hussein, in this passion of Hussein and tears of Hussein, than in Allah's love, because we don't recognize Allah as closely as we recognize the Ahlul Bayt. If love is taken properly, and if sincerity is applied to it, and if at every point we are purging the limitations of our I and fading away in Allah, then it is at that point that we meet with Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. Look at this great sister of Hussein. A few narrations about her. When it came to Hussein,